Come and sew with me. Let's get social. You know it ain't that hard to do. Let's get social.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you all for joining and happy Friday. And today I'm excited because we are going to do another no pattern garment. We're making an infinity dress and I'm very excited about it. And I'm going to talk you through every step of it. So thank you all for joining. And I appreciate that you're here. And I'm excited to get into it, especially because, as y'all know, one of my motivators is, can I wear the garment anytime soon? That is my huge motivator for sewing and finishing the garment all in one session. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Yvette. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. I'm so happy that you are here. So yeah, I think that I actually might be able to wear this dress tomorrow because I am going to a plant expo tomorrow, and it's in South Carolina, and it's going to be pretty warm there. So in fact, like in the mid 80s, I think, and so I think I might be able to wear it. So I have a plan B just in case. But as I was like looking at it and prepping, I was thinking, I think I can actually wear this tomorrow. So yeah, I think that is going to give me even extra motivation to finish it. So if you weren't aware, hey, Monica. Hi, Lynette. Welcome. Happy Friday. So Yvette, so I believe that I used about 3 yards to make my garment, to make my dress. So a couple of things. And I know I said I was going to post this ahead of time, but y'all know my work schedule, I be traveling, I'm gone all the time. So sometimes it's hard for me to like do what I say I'm going to do. I need to get better at that. But so in order to make the dress or to know the sizing, the young lady who designed the dress, there are some measurements that are standard and there are some measurements that are based off of your own body measurements. So like, for example, for the waistband, it'll say it's 5 inches wide times your waist length plus the seam allowance. And so in my case, my waist is 34 inches. I did 35 because I know, on a good day, I'm 34. On a bad day, I'm 36, and it could be even more. So I said, well, let me go with 35 inches plus my seam allowance. And so that's where mine was different from hers because she cut for her waistband, or I don't know what she cut for her waistband because I actually didn't write it down. But I can tell that she probably was not 34. She probably was 24. And so there are some other areas, like for the infinity straps themselves. She used a measurement of 10.5 inches wide by 45 inches long. I cut mine 10.5 inches wide. But I wish that I would have cut it like 15 inches wide because I wanted to have more coverage on the side, and I'm going to have overlap in the front so that there's not as much, there's going to be like no cleavage showing in the front. So as a result, because I'm really on the fence about whether I will actually add like a little piece on the side. And I'm actually probably not going to do it right now, but if I make it again, which I likely will, because I think I'm going to really like the dress, I will likely cut the infinity straps. Instead of 10.5, I will probably do them like 15 so that they fully cover. I'll have overlap in the front, and all coverage all the way to the side. And you'll see what I mean as we put it together. But I will say I used about 3.5 yards. In the instructions that the young lady gave, she used 2.5. I think I used 3 yards. I'm sorry if I said 3.5, I meant 3 yards. So for the pieces, you need 2 pieces, and these are not based on your size, because the skirt is gathered. So she tells you to cut 22 inches in length. And when I measure myself, 22 inches actually comes past my knee. So I cut the 22 inches, but I will probably end up cutting it shorter because my skirt lengths are either above the knee or to the ankle. I don't have skirts that really, unless it's a work skirt. But for something like this, below the knee is not like a cut point that I like. I like a bright above the knee or all the way down to the ankle. But I measured what 22 inches was on me. And so I just left it at 22 inches because I'm using Ankara fabric and my width of the fabric is 45. So I literally just folded it in half and cut. And then the length of it was 55, which again, my waist is 34. So that's going to give me plenty of room to gather. And so, you know, unless your circumference is wider than, and you're cutting two pieces at 55, so you're going to have a lot of room for gathering. So I think that, and I could be mistaken, somebody tell me, but the 55-inch length for two pieces to make up the skirt front and back, so you're talking about 110 inches of fabric, you are going to have, no matter what your waist length is, you're going to have enough fabric to gather sufficiently. And so you should not have to make the length wider than cutting two 55-inch pieces, because that's going to leave you enough to cover your whole waist length with sufficient extra for gathering purposes. So you're going to need two pieces that are 22-inch in length and in width and 55 inches in length. You will cut one of those pieces in half because we will put a zipper. So the front piece will be full, a total 55 inches, and then you'll gather it, of course, to make your waist length. And then the back will be two pieces and the zipper will go in the middle. And then, so that's your skirt, those two or three pieces after you cut one of them in half. Again, that will make up your skirt. And then because the skirt is 22 inches, it's recommended that you use a 22-inch zipper. And I think you can use invisible zipper or not. It doesn't matter. I plan to use invisible zipper. The original designer did not use the regular zipper, but I'm going to use, I think, this orange invisible zipper. I think it might be too much orange, but I may end up using it. So that's the skirt, that's the zipper. And then you need, for your infinity strap, so you're gonna have a waistband. And so let me talk about the waistband first. You're gonna have pieces that are 5 inches, and I did mine 7 inches because I want you're not gonna fold because you're gonna cut two pieces, but when you do it, I wanted my waistband, I want it to be like kind of high. So I did 7 inches. I'm going to see if it feels like it's too much. I'll just cut it down. But what is recommended is 5 inches times your waist length. And as I mentioned, mine is 34 and plus your seam allowance. So you're going to cut two pieces that way, and you're going to interface those two pieces of your waistband. And then you're going to do an infinity strap, and that's what is going to ultimately cover your chest area. So you're going to have these two wide bands that are 10.5 inches wide and 45 inches long. And that's where I was saying in my mind, and I don't know why I didn't do it, but I was going to cut them 15 inches wide so that I could overlap the front and make sure that the band goes around to my side, so that when I am covering it, I have all this coverage up the front. And you could, of course, like squish it and do whatever you want, but to get as much exposure but I wanted a lot of coverage in the front and then have the back pretty open. But instead mine are, and let me show you, this is one of my infinity straps. So it is 10.5 inches wide. So it's not bad because you'll have one this way. Where's my other one? Oh, no, you know what? This is the waistband. This is the infinity strap, just to show you really quickly. It's cool. Just put it up now. Okay. So this is, so it's got it's okay. It's not bad for me. But what I would say is that when you're doing the infinity strap, depending on how much, like if you are okay with having, some cleavage or whatever, then 10.5 might be enough. But like I said, if I cut my 34 circumference in half, then that's 17. And so technically 2 10.5-inch pieces should cover. It should give me coverage, but I just wanted to be sure that I had the coverage that I wanted. So it's not going to be bad. I mean, this will be, it might be okay. It might be able to give me the coverage. And again, this is going to be a long strap. So you know how infinity dress, you can you can fix the top however you want it to be. But so it's not bad. But I just wanted extra. I thought it's always easier to make it smaller than you can't make it bigger. So it probably will give me the coverage that I am okay with. But I just wanted to make sure that it came out of the skirt, like it'll come out of the skirt this way and be able to wrap it. And the length won't be a problem because you're cutting 4 45-inch by 10.5-inch, and you're going to sew each of those pieces together. So literally you're going to have two almost 90-inch straps to wrap, waist, neck, however you decide that you want to fix it, off to one side, across both sides, however you want to do it. So that's the infinity strap. And then you have pockets. And so for the pockets, it's pretty straightforward. And you can use any pocket pattern if you already have one, but pretty much what I basically did was have a straight edge at the side, a straight at the top, and then a curve around the other way. And then I just made sure that my hand was big enough to fit in it. And that's pretty much how I made the pocket. And I cut 4 pocket pieces. And that's it. So it's the skirt pieces, 2 pieces you're going to cut for the skirt, of which one you're going to cut in half. And it is the infinity strap, of which you're going to cut 4 of those pieces. And it is the waistband, and it's the pocket. So you have 4 pieces that you are cutting out to make this pattern. Let me see. Hi, Nina. Hi, Dory. Welcome. Right. Better to have more than not enough fabric. You can definitely cut it down. And that's why I was, hey, Diane. That's why I was like, okay, I'm going to err on the side of cutting, making it bigger and then being able to kind of take it down as opposed to not. I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm doing an invisible zipper. I think I'll just decide the last minute. I really like invisible zipper, so I'm really leaning towards that. But then I also have this regular zipper that's not an invisible zipper, and then I have this sports zipper. This zipper looks a lot closer to the zipper that was used by the designer, except for she used one with metal teeth. And I do have one with the silver metal teeth. It's not my favorite, so I pulled out this one. This also is a separating zipper, so it would allow me to kind of open the skirt up all the way. I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not, but I think what I really want is to just do an invisible zipper. So the skirt, 22 inches is always wide enough. My biggest thing is I like to step into my skirts, my dresses, just like I step into my pants. And so 22 inches, 18 inches can get me there. It's what opens it up wide enough that I can like step into any dress, any skirt. And so 22 inches definitely can get me there. And so because of that, I will probably more likely than not do this orange invisible zipper. And like the only thing you're going to see if I do it right is this little tassel piece. And then you see my fabric. It's got a little orange in there. It's Ankara fabric. So yeah. Yes. So that is pretty much it. So I watched the tutorial. I took some notes and I'm going to walk you through exactly. I feel like this is pretty it is pretty straightforward. I am hoping that we are going to be in and out because I got an early morning flight tomorrow. So, and I still have to pack. So I got a lot to do in addition to hoping that I'm going to be packing this dress because I think I want to wear it. Okay, so with that said, let us get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is these are my skirt pieces, and I did not cut the second skirt piece or the second one in half. I did not cut it in half. So this is my 55 inches by, what is it? 22 inches. This is two pieces, and I did not cut one of them in half. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to sew on the pocket pieces. So I'm just literally going to just fold this in half. And I am going to cut it. Yes, Sabs, the tutorial is on YouTube. And it's like a 14-minute, really quick tutorial. It is, and and I'll tell you what the young lady's name. I put her name on my thumbnail. So if you look on the thumbnail for this live on YouTube, you will see it says designed by, I think it says designed by, made by Diola, I believe is her name. I will say it. I will tell you because she gets all the credit for designing this very cute dress. All the credit. And when you go through her lives, it's like infinity, I don't know if she says no pattern, but infinity wrap dress. And you're going to scroll way down because she did it like 5 years ago. Yes, there you go. Made by Diola. Thank you. Thank you. And she has several items as I was going through that are like no pattern, where you just kind of cut out, use your size, use your measurements. So she has several that are like that. But this one, what I found, it was like 5 years old. So it's going to be like, kind of, you're going to be scrolling for a minute under her videos, and then you will find it. So yeah, if you want to, if you end up going back and making this and you want to see like the quick down and dirty, definitely, check her out because she gets all the credit for designing what I think is a very cute, simple, nice spring summer dress. Very, very cute. Okay. So now I have cut this piece in half. Cut this piece in half, and now the next thing that we are going to do is, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. It's like, my instructions cannot disappear. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add these pockets. Y'all can see I made another LaShawn dress back here. This is my, I keep making them because I'm like, I got to go somewhere. I'm going to make another one. And it's so quick, but I made another one. And every time I make them, I get like a million compliments. I just love them so much. And they just really fit me so well. Okay. So I am also going to get my pinking shears. Getting my pinking shears because I don't want this to fray. And I have pretty much cut everything that I've already pre-cut. I've already cut with the pinking shears. So I didn't have to worry about doing it on live. But I do need to cut this. And then we're going to attach the pockets. We're attaching the pockets to the edges of the front pieces. The front piece, one on each side, and to the edges of the back pieces, the side back. I've been using my pinking shears a lot lately, and I feel like they're getting dull because they're not cutting as good as they were, which is not good because guess what? You don't want it to fray, and if they're not sharp, then that means it's going to fray your fabric. So the other thing that y'all might probably notice that my voice is actually really hoarse, but it's much better. The weekend that I was off where I was traveling, I ended up getting sick that weekend. But now I'm doing much better now. Much, much better. All right, I'm just going to put a clip on this end because this is where the zipper is going. And then we are going to use our, and I just realized I did not use my pinking shears on these pockets. So I'm going to do that really quickly. And we're going to line these pockets, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to put them on. But first, we're going to cut these. And make sure that I can wash this dress a million times and it doesn't fray. That will be important. Because like I said, when I like something, I wear it a lot. Although lately I have been as I told you, I've been sewing a lot more lately than I usually sew. And I pulled out like an oldie but goodie, Know Me 2043, I think I sewed. Pants. I haven't finished. I still have to put the buttons on them, but super cute, super cute. I'm hoping to finish them as soon as I get back home so I can wear them next week. And the new look dress, I made a skirt, I made a jacket because I cut the dress in two. I've been just making so much stuff. With what time, I have no idea. But I've been sewing a lot lately. Got my sewing groove back. All right. 2 pockets done. Hi, Gaynell. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. I was outside earlier today. I called myself trying to go for a little walk because, like I said, I've been under the weather all week and I haven't really been able to work out. And I had my 31-mile hike coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. And so that really put a monkey wrench in my training. So I was like, let me get outside for a walk today. And the sky just opened up. It started storming. The wind was blowing. And you would have thought it was like a tornado coming or something. And then it just disappeared. It was like it was never there. It's crazy. But that's the kind of weather that I actually like to be home looking out my window. But I was stuck in the store because I was like, I'm not walking in that mess. It might blow me away. All right, let me just go around this curve and we will have pink. I think that's everything. I don't think I have anything else that I haven't cut. But you know how that goes. You think you cut everything and then you look and see you did not. But I'm hoping that's it because I feel like I have cut everything. And let me cut this across this top. All right, there we go. So I'm going to put these 2 pocket pieces over here, and it's going to be right sides facing. So I am literally going to take this piece, this edge, and I'm going to line it up with the edge so that it is right sides facing. So when I flip it, it's going to be like that. And then I'm doing the same thing on this side. Well, let me scoop you back a little bit so you can see. Okay, hopefully you can see. Okay, hopefully you can see a little bit better. So I put this side on. This is right sides facing. And then I'm taking this other pocket piece here, and I'm lining up those at that edge. So you could probably see that much better now. So it's right sides facing. This is the pocket. This is the main skirt fabric. And I'm going to sew. I'm going to actually sew just along this side. So I'm not going to sew the top just yet. I'm just going to sew along the side of each piece. And I'm doing this on the back sides. And then I'm going to do it on the front, one on each side. And did I put this in here already? No, I did not. Where is my... Oh, here we go. So I was changing out my thread for this gold thread. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm only going down the sides. And I'm going to do the same thing on the front. So this is the back, and then I'll be doing the same thing on the front. Ooh. Why did it do that? Oh, it's a good complementary color. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Where is my pocket? Oh, here we go. Well, what happened? That was weird. Okay. I don't know what happened, but let's try this again. For some reason, did not pull through the thread, so let's try it again. Lord, let me try to. All right, third time is the charm. Here we go. Hey Dee, how are you? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's see. I don't know what is going on. This is interesting. Something is happening with my thread, and I'm not really sure what, but it's not sewing. Let's see. Why is this not working? Let's see. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Let's try that. All right. I've been good. I got a little sick last week when I was off. I was traveling, and then I think I did too much. I ended up doing like 11 miles on Sunday, and it was raining and all of that. But I felt good. But then Monday morning, I woke up and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing great." I wasn't 100% for sure, but I did end up making another dress. Look, what is this? My fourth or fifth dress I made. I don't know if you can see it, but there's my lovely LaShawn dress. I made like, I don't know how many I'd have made at this point. Now I could just make it with my eyes closed. But I had somewhere to go and I was like, oh, let me just make this dress real quick. And I just made it in a couple of hours. Every time I make it and wear it, I get so many compliments. Oh my goodness. So many. Say, yes, I know, isn't it? I was like, oh, I really like, and you know, I'm not really even a colorful person. Wait till Aisha get on and see this dress. I'm not even, but I was like, I just felt like it was gonna look good. And I said, let me make this. All right, let's see if this, we can see if this thing is doing what it's supposed to do. All right, there we go. I think we have. Okay, let me see. All right, there we go. Finally. I think we did what we needed to do. But yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness. I just really like it. And I like it because I can wear it to work too. But I also like it because I can wear it. Oh, hey Aisha, look. Can you see this? Hold on, let me move this jacket out the way. Because I feel like it's still in the spotlight. I was like, Aisha would love all this color. I was thinking that when I was making it. Look at that. Look at all that color. Boom. Look at that. was like, okay. I can see you. I guess y'all still can't see me. I hope YouTube changed this for me. We can see you. I didn't know you was there, but I see you now. I know, right? I was like, look at all this color. I was thinking that when I was making it, I was like, Aisha would never believe it. She gonna have to see it to believe it. And it looks so cute on me too. I love it. Okay, so I put the pockets on the back. And then, like I said, the zipper is going to go. Make sure. Oh, yeah, the zipper is going to go right here. This is the zipper part. Let me just put another clip on here. So when we get ready to do the zipper, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then we are going to take our very long piece. This is our other long front piece. And we are going to put the other two pockets here. Again, right sides facing. So I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to clip it on. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. So as you can see, it's going to be just like that. This is the pocket. This is the skirt. Right sides facing each other. And I'm putting that straight edge line with this straight edge. And this is going to end up being the side front of the skirt, which is where these pockets are going. And these are pretty big pockets, so they'll be pretty deep, which is good. We always like a good deep pocket. I made the pants that I made, or that I'm working on. I'm almost done. I'm like, I want to take the pockets out the back. I have front pockets and I have welt pockets in the back. I took one of them out and I'm tempted to take the other one out because I don't like when you have pockets in the back and you can see them through the fabric. I don't like that. And I feel like, oh, you can see it. But I'm also like, dang, don't want to get rid of the pocket. So I'm like on the fence about whether I take it out or not. Because I'm like, the only part of me that doesn't want to take it out is because I'm like, I done already cut the fabric and I don't want to waste my fabric. That is the part that is making me not want to take it out. Because I'm like, shoot, I should have made that decision before I sit here and cut my fabric up. But that's neither here nor there. I will probably end up taking it out just because I already have pockets in the front of the pants. So I'm like, do I really need pockets in the back? I don't think I do. Okay, so we have our pockets on the front piece and the back piece. And so when we sew these together, we will be sewing, when we sew the sides together, we'll be basically sewing around the pockets and then down the side on each one of the pieces. That is what we'll be doing. And so let me see what she does next. Let's see. Oh, the next thing she does is sew the gathering stitches. So before she sews the front to the back, She does gathering stitches, and so we are going to do gathering stitches using the gathering foot. Y'all know my favorite. My favorite foot to use. The only thing I hate about using the gathering foot is that I even have to change it. Like, I wish there was a sewing machine that was invented that literally has all the feet inside, and you just push a button and the foot that you want just like slides down, and then you sew with it. Like, maybe I should work with somebody and create that, because that would be the ideal machine. Somebody's going to create it. It might already be out there. It's just out of our price range. Okay, so I am going to do a gather every 6, and then I'm going to measure to make sure that this front part is at least 18 inches, I think would be good. Maybe 17, no, maybe 18. So I'm starting my gather at the edge of the skirt right after the pocket, and I'm doing a gather again every 6. Aisha, we see you. We hear you. We see you. Hey, Shamir. Hey, Lala. You said I changed my setting. I see you now too. Okay. I didn't realize we weren't seeing Aisha. I guess I didn't see her when she first joined either. Okay. What is this? What is my gathering foot? I think it's number 68. 86. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is going to be so nice. And if I feel like I need to do more, I'll just do some overlapping, but I don't think I will. As you speak, change out my walking for my fashion fabric foot and have used my screwdriver. All right, okay. Now look, I'm all for ease. I'm like, anything that can make sewing even easier. I'm supportive. Give me that. That's why I love this gathering foot. To me, I feel like this is so much easier than putting those basting stitches in and trying to pull the string. I do it, but I don't like it. Okay. So here is the front, and it probably is what I would say is a little bit too, it needs to be gathered more. So what I will do is when I position it into the waistband, which I'll show you, I'll do some overlapping probably towards the middle. And that's the other thing. Sometimes I don't even do the gathering foot. I just manually, and this is a perfect manual gathering option because of the way that we put it into the waistband. And I'll show you that in a minute, and you'll see like you could really just do a manual gather because you have this option to literally just kind of place it in there. All right, so I'm gonna do, this is the front, I'm sorry, the back pieces. So I'm going to gather the back pieces as well. And same way I did the front. And maybe I might, no, yeah, I'm gonna do the same way. I'm not gonna mess around. They need to have a gather every 3 because every 1 stitch is too little and every 6 sometimes is too much. All right, 1/2 of the back done, and now I'm about to do this other half. And we are almost there. Last little bit. All right. And this is the 2 back pieces. I've done again the gathering on it, and then this is the pocket right here at the end. So now that we have done that, for whatever reason, Beyond has to put their chat to all chat, not to chat. You have to all chat, not to chat to see my comments. I have mine on all chat. I don't know. Maybe it's something going on. YouTube has been acting a little funny sometimes lately, I noticed. So maybe that's another one of the things that's happening. Okay, so let's see. Sew the gathering stitches to the top of the skirt, front and back. We did that. Adjust the gathers to the waist, then sew front to back at the side seams and around the pockets. So I'm not going to adjust the front and the back until I put them into the waistband because my waistband is already the measurement that I want it to be. So when I'm laying it and pinning it into the waistband before I sew it together, that is when I'm going to adjust the width of the front and the back. So for now, I can literally sew the front to the back on this at the side seams, right sides facing. So this is my front skirt piece, one side of it, and here is my back front piece. Again, I'm doing right sides facing. And I'm lining up my pockets. So here's my pocket pieces. And I'm going to sew across this top of the pocket piece and then around the pocket piece and down the side here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And this, somebody did ask, I'm sorry, I didn't respond. that yes, this is Ankara, and it's a really lightweight Ankara. It's not thick. I've already washed it and used fabric softener in it, so it's pretty soft. And one of the things I thought about, because it is kind of thin, I don't think it's see-through, but it is definitely on the thinner side. So it's definitely summer ready for sure, because it's on the thinner side. All right, and that's one side, and now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So this is the other side of the skirt. Here's the pocket. I'm lining up these two pockets, and I'm going to do the same thing. So across the top, around the side, and of the pocket, and then down the side of the skirt. And everything lines up pretty good. I don't know why that fell off. Oh. Where are all my clips? Not Top Chat. Okay. So is anybody sewing anything this weekend? Like I said, I'm going to a plant expo this weekend because I'm also like, I have fallen in love with plants more than usual. And so I was like, not forgot, but kind of forgot about it. Last year, I bought tickets to go to this, and it just happened to fall this weekend, which is not an ideal weekend because this weekend I would normally be training for my hike, especially after the week that I've had not training anything. But what I will say is that for the last couple of weeks that I have been training, it definitely has motivated me in a major way to kind of like be consistent with my working out and get out, walk. Yeah, because I feel really good when I do it. And so it's really made me say like, yeah, you have to find time, period, because it's not going to be one of those things where you can just keep putting it off, because life is always going to be busy, period. It's always going to be busy. And so either you make the time or you don't. I mean, it's simple as that. And so I have to figure out how important am I to me. How important am I to me? Gotta make myself a priority. So even though I got a little under the weather, I'm like, I'm not, even after this race, I'm going to stay consistent and make sure I keep, doing my workouts. A little something every day. That's my goal. That's my self-care. All right, pocket is in. And now I'm just going down the side. All right, one side. Oop. One side is done. It's down. Now I'm going to do the other side. This dress is really, like I said, what I like about it is that it is pretty straightforward. Like, it's not going to take you long. It's probably take you longer to cut out all your pieces, which doesn't take long at all, than it will to make it. Which, like I said, is good for me because I still have to pack, even though I'm only going for one day. I gotta make sure all my stuff is together. And I'm hoping, like I said, I can wear this dress. That's the goal. I love wearing my stuff. Feels so good. And I always get compliments, which just makes me feel so good. Like, oh my goodness. I never get compliments on store-bought stuff. I mean, rarely. Okay. Now I'm just going to go down the side. And we will have attached the front to the back. Okay. I really do like this fabric. It's the perfect combination of color and not color. Okay. So the honeyborn dress. I have to look that up. I'm going to look that up and see what that is. Okay, Shamil, you say you're showing a skirt right now. Are you going to fit? Is this something you're going to finish tonight? Both of you? Or is this like I'm working on it a little bit at a time and I'll finish when I finish? So my 31-mile hike is on May 2nd. And it will be an all-day thing. And the other reason why I really have to be conditioned for is because I didn't take any time off after my hike, which I've never do, to be honest with you. I've usually been able to just, have one down day that Sunday, the day after, and then I'm able to kind of get up and go right after. But I really have to get up and go. I got things I have to do. So I knew training is going to be necessary. So, that reminds me. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be sewing next weekend because I'm going to be traveling to my hike. I didn't even think about that. Shoot. I just thought about that. You all reminded me like, dang, how am I going to do that? And I have to put out my schedule for May. I realize this is my last pattern that I have scheduled, but I do have to put out my schedule. Okay, so we have now sewn the front to the back. We do have the beginnings of some kind of gathers in there. We're going to make it even more. And then the back is open, which is where we're going to put our zipper. But we are not putting our zipper in until after we put in the waistband. Ooh, I made a mess. Let me get some water. Okay. So, oh, you said where was the hike? Yeah. So you said yes. Like you. I want to wear my dress tomorrow. I know that's right. Uh, okay. It was Shamir. So I'm finishing mine too. Right. That's my only motivation. I'm telling you. I realized that if I can't wear my garment like soon after I make it, it almost like makes me not. If I don't finish it, it takes me a while to finish it, unless I know like, oh, I'm going to be actually wearing it. Um, so the hike is along the Appalachian Trail between Virginia and Maryland. So it starts in the edge of Virginia, goes through DC. It's a pretty flat. I mean, there is like a little bit of elevation, but you could feel it if you were bike riding, but if you're walking, it's so gradual all the way until you get to like mile 30. That last 1 mile is it's like a 45-degree. Your stance, you go from standing straight like this to walking like this, because it's like you walking up this hill, and your body is, and you are using different muscles that you haven't used for the last, it usually takes me about 10 hours. So for like 9 hours, you're walking straight, like, and then that last, the hill is so, like I said, it's 45 degrees. You can't even see over it. You just look and you just see like this, and it's a street. It's like this little town that you're walking through. It's torture, because you're like, put it like this. It takes me like an hour to walk that one. So it takes me 10 hours to do 31 miles. It takes me 9 hours to do 30 and 1 hour to do that last mile. That's how difficult it is, because it's at the end, because it's like of all of the miles, the hike, that you would think it would be the easiest because it's paved, there's no gravel, but it's just that it's that hill, and your body is like so tired, you just like, what? But I was in Maine this week, and I didn't realize this, that one of the ladies that I was with, she told me that the Appalachian Trail actually ends in Maine, which I didn't know, because I knew it wasn't the end between Virginia and Maryland, but I didn't know it goes actually all the way up the East Coast to the Northeast, all the way into Maine. And she was like, yeah, it ends on this mountains. And she was like, it's actually really treacherous. It's this segment of it called the Devil's Loop or something like that, where it's like you literally are like, it's treacherous. So I was like, yeah, that part is not for me. I'm gonna stick with my little my little flat hike that I do. I've done some hikes that where you have to like hold on to stuff and you need to stick, but nothing, and you walking through water and your feet get wet. I've done some little stuff like that, and it's fun when it's like 2 miles, but yeah, for 31, let me stick with what's flat. Okay, what are we doing now? We are going to work on our infinity strap. So we're going to put this to the side. This is our skirt. We've done that. We're going to put that to the side for now. And we are going to work on, this is our waistband. We're not doing nothing with that yet. We're going to work on our infinity strap. So you have 4 pieces for your infinity strap. And you are going to sew 2 pieces together to make 2 long pieces. So if there are 4 pieces, you're going to take 2 and you're going to put them right sides together, and you're going to sew them together. So you have, instead of 4 shorter pieces, you're going to have 2 long pieces. So we're going to do that next. Yeah, I'm really, what's so crazy? Every year when I do the race, I think I tell y'all this every year, I get excited until I actually get out there. And if you follow me on my other social media, where I post, well, I don't post that often anymore, but where I post most of like my fitness stuff, I will post that day a lot of like 1 mile done, 2 miles done. And I'm going to tell you, like, the people, the comments, because, you know, Instagram will like alert you. When I see like my friends commenting, cheering me on, it does, I don't know why, but it just motivates me. It helps me, like, you know, keep going, keep pushing. Because, you know, at mile 1, mile 5, mile 10, you know, it's like you have this energy, and it's like, yeah, you're going to keep going because you just can do it. And even at mile 15, that's when for me it's like, actually, it's probably like mile 20 when I start to feel like I cannot believe I still have over 10 miles to go. I usually could get to mile 24, which is, you know, what 26 is a marathon. And I usually, that's when I'm usually like, I can't believe I still have all this to go. That's when I start like really talking to myself, and it becomes all mental, because the physical side of you is already like tapped out, and it's all in your mind. And that's when I see those little comments. It's like, yeah, keep going. You could do it, blah, 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 you know, whatever. I'm like, okay, I got to keep posting. Now I got to keep posting all this, because I know people are tapped in and waiting to see how far I get. And then you see that person that you know got 20 years on you, pass you, talk about your ego. You like, oh yeah, what I'm not going to do is come in after somebody that is probably old enough to be my grandmother. Like, that is what's not going to happen. So you just like, between that, it's all mental. You just have to kind of tap into something, and you just have to keep refueling yourself. So I always bring a backup charger so I can keep my phone on, so I can like keep getting those alerts, and I know where I'm at every moment. Because like I said, at some point, you don't have any physical. It's not physical at all. It is 100% mental. Like, if you were relying on your physical body to get you there, you will not make it. You have to like push past, because your body, you're in pain, you're hurting, you're sore. Like, every time you lift your foot up, you're like, what in the world? Like, a rock is in my shoe or something. You, even though it's not, but you feel this like level of discomfort, and you just have to keep pushing. You know. The ladies that I do it with, they have done it twice as many. This is, I think, my 6th or 7th time. I got to count my badges. So that's the other thing. We do it for a badge. We do raise money for the Sierra Club with this race, but we get a badge. That is what we get when we finish. You do not get the badge. There is no consolation prizes. You either did it or you didn't. If you quit at mile 30, you do not get a badge. If you quit at mile 30.5, you do not get a badge. You have to do all 31 miles in order to get your badge. But yeah, every year I'm like excited to do it. And like I said, the ladies that I have been doing it with have been doing it for a while. This year, for thank you, Lala. I appreciate you. Yes, please like the live. I really appreciate that. This year we have a young lady that is joining us for the first time. And she's a friend of the ladies that invited me. So I don't know her personally, but I remember what it was like my first year. And I said to myself, when my friends invited me, at first, because they know I like to work out, I was like very much like fitness person or whatever. When I was on that hike, and I had never done 30 anything. I hadn't even done, the first time I did it, I don't even think I had done a marathon at that point, which is very different, by the way, because you finish a marathon in 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that, which is very different from walking for 10 hours or hiking for 10 hours. I got to like mile 15, and I thought, you cannot be a friend and invite somebody to have this level of torture. I was not prepared. I was like, oh my goodness. And at that point in time, they had already did it like 5 or 6 times by the time I did it my first time. So yeah, I mean, but I came back the next year. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. And I've been addicted to it every year. So I tell them they can't quit until I catch up, which, as you know, I'll never catch up because every year that I do it, they do it, and they'll always be ahead. So they've been hanging in there. I know they like want to quit, but they're not. And now they've invited somebody else new. I don't think they'll ever be able to quit. It'll be interesting to see if this young lady comes back after this year. Okay, so here is our two straps. So we've got those done. And oh, you know what I forgot to do? Okay. So where we will be placing these straps. So the straps, like I said, you really have discretion as to where you place them. But the goal of the strap, or at least for me, will be, oh, and you have to, before we even put the straps on, we do have to do a rolled hem around the edge of the strap. Not the bottom, because you're going to sew that on, but the sides. But the goal of the strap is to basically have some coverage across the front and on the side as much as you want. So when you're positioning the straps, you're going to be eventually attaching them to the waistband. You want to position them so that you have some overlap in the front, or as much as you want. Like I said, if you don't want overlap, maybe you don't want them to be touching, then you could literally not make them touching. But if you want coverage, then you do want to have them have some overlap. So it's best to figure out where you want them. Like I said, if you have a smaller bust, you might be okay with having some just to go straight down. And if you want some cleavage to show, then you could definitely go straight down. But like I said, for me, I don't want that much exposure, or, just my preference, because I want to have options to where I can wear it. And so sometimes I might want a more modest look. And like I said, you can always do things to adjust it once you sew it on. But I'm going to have mine fit so that there is at least an inch to an inch and a half of overlap in the front. And then, like I said, it does give me more coverage on the side than I thought it would. And this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to have no exposure on the side. But like I said, you have all of this. So when you're wrapping it, you're going to have the ability to kind of wrap it around the sides and, whatever, like this. However you decide to do your infinity wrap, you can bring these up, you can, whatever, however you fix it for the infinity dress. But I just wanted to kind of share that part with you. So the next thing I'm going to do is, because we're going to attach these, we're going to do an edge stitch on the sides. And we're going to do it, after we do the edge stitch on the side, we're going to also do a finishing stitch down the bottom so it looks finished at the bottom as well. Okay, let me see. So two pieces together to create one long piece. We did that, and then basically create an edge stitch on 3 of the edges, because again, you don't have to do it for the edge that you are going to be attaching to your waistband. So I have my edge foot out here, and I'm going to do that because that is the fastest way to get an edge around both of these strips. So let me, 66. Okay. So we're going to do that. Okay, there's my other piece right there. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm really excited about, not like this. I'm just going to cut this piece off because it's pretty wide, and I feel like it's going to be harder for me to get it off. So it'd be easier for me to just cut it off. There we go. Because even when I do the edge stitch, it's not this wide. This piece of is more, it's probably like 5/8 of an inch. And the rolled hem foot is not going to make a 5/8 of an inch finished. So the time it takes me, I don't want to put this whole thing through there only to have it not fit. So that's easy just to get rid of that. All right, I think we're going to be good to go. All right, here we go. All right. Look at that. Oh yeah, that looks good. So yeah, again, I feel like this is a really easy dress to make, and you have a lot of flexibility in the length. You could make it longer. You could make the skirt longer. You could make the infinity straps wider. You could make the waistband wider, which I did. So if you don't like what you see and how I did it, you could definitely make it much shorter. And I actually might make mine shorter too. So we'll see how it goes, how it looks. So I will post, I'll probably post something on my sewing page too, just in case y'all want to tap in and watch, follow me on my hike day. That would be so cool. There we go. Sometimes it's hard, not hard, but sometimes it's tricky to get the seam allowance through the rolled hem foot, but especially if you're trying to go fast like me. But I was able to get it through. No problems. Once you make this once, you'll be able to fly through making it again. I can tell, like I said, if I like it and gives me the coverage I want. Because I also thought about doing this in denim. Y'all know I love my denim. But I said, let me try it in car fabric first. And then we can see if we want to do it again. All right, that looks pretty good. One side down. One side to go. At one of these months, we're going to have to do some whips. I need to get finished all these half projects that I have. I got like 4 things that I need to finish. And like I said, these are things that I'm not wearing, so I don't have any motivation to sew them. which is not a good thing. Ooh, there we go. So I'm gonna probably post this sometime this week, my May, June, and July patterns. I definitely have all the Mays picked out that we're going to be sewing, but I don't have anything beyond that. I've had a couple people make requests for things that I've made before, so that's what you'll see in May. So if you're one of those people, we're going to be sewing some things that we haven't made in months or even a year or longer. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Sometimes when you go too fast, your fabric comes out of the rolled hem. And that's what happened with me. No. And sometimes it could be tricky to get it back in there. That's not good. All right, there we go. How is my bobbin? My bobbin is actually doing pretty good. I'm not having any problems. It was acting up at first, but now it's doing okay. I'm not having any problems with it. Sometimes I get spoiled because, my bobbin holds so much thread. I'm like not used to changing it. And so I'll forget. Like, oh, you gotta change your bobbin. And my machine, sometimes it alerts me, but it doesn't always. It's supposed to, but it doesn't always. I literally said this past week, I noticed that I'm running low on my threads. And I was like, I need to put another thread order into Wawac. Because I'm running low on some of my common color threads that I use. And part of it is because a lot of it ends up on these bobbins. It uses a lot of thread to fill those bobbins. All right, we are almost done. The other good thing about using this edge foot is that the edge foot is literally, it's not even using 3/8. Maybe it's using 3/8. So you are not using a lot of fabric. one to go. You can see that edge looks so finished. Nice and neat. And I use that mustard color thread. All right, one down. And one more to go. And once we finish this, we will literally, what time is it? Oh yeah, we're making great time. It's taking us longer to do this, and it's taking us to do many of the other things that we will need to do to finish. Like we have to put the zipper in, that's probably the next longest thing, but it shouldn't take too long. Love this edge foot. I'm telling you, I remember when I was scared to use it. So glad I got over that. Because for something like this, it is a huge time saver. Huge. I don't know that I would be able to, kind of have a finished hem for these infinity straps as fast as I'm finishing them. All right, here we go. It's getting a little tangled, but I definitely like these no pattern no pattern garments, and I'm thinking, we'll probably do a couple more, especially since I've been looking for them. I found a couple more people that make them. But what do y'all think about it? Do you feel like it's easier, harder, not enough variety, not enough style with them? Adaptable to different sizes. I kind of like them personally. It's a break from having to cut out patterns, and I like it for that reason. But I'm curious to what y'all think. Obviously, you could only do this so much with them. All right, one down. One more to go. And then we will be on to the next one. On to the next part of this dress. One more side to go. This is definitely one of those things that I wish I would have did could have did, would have done before the live. Once we finish this, then we'll be probably 70% done. We'll be over the hump. I'm trying to think what I'm looking forward to making for the summer. I've tried each year to make bathing suits unsuccessfully. I love to wear dresses, sundresses. That's what I probably make the most for the summer. I've been making a lot of work clothes lately. Again, my motivation is that I have something that I could wear immediately. But as far as summer garments that I have not been successful with, I think bathing suits are probably it. And some people make them so effortlessly, makes it seem so easy, and I just have not been able to do it. Not been able to get into it. So we probably won't be doing that on live. All right. I think we have officially finished the strap. All right, there we go. Strap is done. Both straps are done. When you make something to your measurement that will fit, the fit was there. You don't have to grade or adjust upside, downside, unless you're a pattern designer, which I'm not. You're limited in designs. Yes, that is true. Hey, Tydree. Hey, girl. No, that I'm gonna tell you, like, that's the best thing I think that I have gained from sewing my own stuff is that my clothes fit so well, so much better than anything I could ever buy from a store. Because I say what I like to say is that I don't have like a store body. Like the clothes don't fit me the way they fit on the mannequin. They just don't. And I feel like I think that's one of the reasons that I get so many compliments. Not necessarily because what I'm making is like, oh, so great. You know, maybe it is. I don't know. But I think it's because it fits me so well. Can I get this thing to fold? So, yeah. Tydree, if y'all didn't have a chance to go watch Tydree's live, please go watch her live. She told us about her ordeal with losing her phone. And Tydree, I could totally relate because I literally had something probably 20 years ago happen. I don't know, maybe it wasn't 20 years ago, but it was a long time ago happened to me. It was one year, my sister and I went out for New Year's Eve. Me and my youngest sister. We went out for New Year's Eve And we went to this event where we had to take a bus. We took a bus to this event, and we were like dressed up. We were so cute. I remember I had on this red leather dress and some some red pumps. And my sister had on, I think, white or gold. I can't remember. And we go to the place. We have a great time. And I left my phone on the bus. But because we took the bus to the place and then we took the bus back. Like it was like one of those big, travel buses like you would take to go to New York or something. But we weren't going to New York. It was just to go to the location of the New Year's party. And that came off quick. And I had, Apple has, like you said, it has Find Your Phone. You need to do an update. Yes, Tydri, do an update. You need to do an update, Tydri. So for those that haven't seen it, Tydri tells us her whole ordeal. What happened to her. I'm not going to tell y'all. I'm going to tell you my story. And then you got to go watch Tydri's her thing so you can see her story. But so I know where my phone is. And I didn't call the police or anything. I just went over there, me and my sister. And I don't know what we was thinking. Because people are crazy, for real, for real. They are crazy. But I ended up giving them $50 and they gave me my phone back. Because they were not going to be able to use my phone. It was locked. It was locked. I had erased it. And it basically, I put a message on the phone. Call me. You have my phone. Call me. Something like that. I can't remember what I put on there. But I knew where my phone was. Because, again, I had Find My Phone on. And I guess I didn't even think about how dangerous it was. Because I surely went to the hood and got my dang on phone. But I had to give him $50. And I was pissed. Because I did not. I just felt like you literally stole my phone. And when I came to retrieve it, you would not give it to me. You wanted me to pay you for my dang on phone. So yeah, I want to hear the story, Tydri. I'm going to be waiting because I want to know what happened. I want to know the part 2. I am so curious to know the part 2. You have to tell us the part 2 of that. But I will tell you one thing. In my mind, like, there's nothing worse than a thief. Like, I don't know. To me, I just feel like a thief is like, you just can't get any worse than that to me, I think. What is going on with my thing that it's not wanting to put this stitch in? So I have, there's no love lost for me when it comes to somebody who steals. Because I just feel like if you steal, there is nothing that you wouldn't do. That's the way I feel. If you're a thief, phew, what else wouldn't you do? What else would you not do if you would steal? And nothing is going to convince me of that because I've never met a good thief. Right. A liar and a thief go hand in hand. Right. That's why I'm saying, look, if I find out you a thief, then to me, it's nothing that will surprise me about what you wouldn't do. And that's just, you know what? I realize now that I got that experience as a young person because I don't know if I told y'all this story, but I used to do hair when I was like in grade school, middle school, high school, but mostly middle school. Yeah, and high school, like in my younger part of the high school, like 9th grade, 10th grade. I used to do hair. And I had some people that I went to school with. I feel like I told y'all this story, but I'll tell you again because you may not have heard it. But yeah, you know what? I think back to that moment where I went to go get my phone. It was not smart to do because one, I was in the hood. Two, it was just not smart for a lot of reasons. It just could have went sideways. It didn't, but it could have. It could have definitely went sideways for sure. Um, sorry, I gotta get this off and I can't get this out and I'm messing up my fabric. So anyway, so when I was in middle school and high school, I used to do hair. And at the time I had a child. So I had a child young. And so it was kind of like my way to have a little bit of extra money, get my things for my daughter and for myself, and I made good money doing hair. I was an unlicensed cosmetologist and I was definitely doing a lot of hair. I was doing everything you could think of. I was doing it. And so I used to braid hair. I did everything you could think of. I literally did it. And I had my friends come over to get their hair done. I was braiding hair at this time. And they came over to get their hair done. And I think it was like back to school or something like that. I think it was back to school. They came over to get their hair done for school. And I had been doing a lot of people's hair. I had done a lot of people's hair because, I think it was back to school because for some reason, maybe it was like Easter or something. It was something where school was out and I was doing a lot of hair for people that were going back to school. And I had put all the money, I was doing hair in my room, and I put all the money that I had made in, I think I put it either in a Bible or in a book or something on the shelf. And at the end of the night, like of the weekend, I had been doing hair all weekend. Y'all know the story. I went in there and all my money was gone. All my money was gone. And so I knew that it had to be the last people that I did because all the money was gone. Like everything was gone. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, who would do that? Who would let you spend all that time? And they knew like I had a child and all these things. And they still, and I don't know who did it. I can't say who did it. All I can say is who I think did it. And it just made me think like whoever this person is, the fact that they could know who I am, because I wasn't doing strangers' hair either. These were people that I knew, friends that I personally knew, neighbors that I personally knew. But like I said, it was the last people that I had did because I was also the kind of person I asked for my money first before I did people's hair. So I had already had, like, when you come in and you're waiting, I got your money. Like, if you book with me, I'm getting your money. And that's just the way that it worked for me. And I don't know how I got away with that, but that's just the way it worked. And nobody questioned it. Nobody said, no, I'm not paying you till after I get my hair done. And I just paid you first. So anyway, it just made me feel very differently about thieves because I was just like, somebody that I knew, somebody that I trusted, somebody that knew my situation, that saw me work so hard, took my money. And that just made me think, if you could do that, what wouldn't you do? And I just always felt that way because I was like, this person took something from me that I worked really hard for. This wasn't given to me. I was working really hard. It just took my steam out. It hurt me, I think, too. I think I was hurt, even though I didn't have the words to describe it. I was angry, but I think I was hurt more than anything that somebody would do that. And I've had a couple of other experiences where people have stolen from me, but it just reinforced that, these are different kind of people. People who steal, there's no limit to what they won't do. And like I said, I've never met a good, you said I would have been fine. I was hurt. I was devastated because all my money, I had plans for that money. I was going to buy clothes and buy Pampers and buy, stuff for myself and my daughter. Like, I had made good money and I had worked my butt off. I had been working all weekend. I feel like it was it's either, like I said, back to school or Easter or something like that. Because I had did a lot of people's hair and I was saving. I had made probably more money than I had made in a long time. So yeah, it was definitely an experience. And it just, from that early age, made me think, yeah, I would never minimize a thief ever, because those are not good people. And I do distinguish, against people who probably would like steal food from a grocery store. Obviously, that's different, but I mean, for me, it would be different. I wouldn't look at them the same, because you got to feed your family. And I'm not saying I don't condone stealing by any means, but I can almost understand it a little bit. But yeah. So anyway, when I saw that, I was like, it kind of like made me feel away. And I was like, yeah, we got to get them. So hopefully you got to go put that up, Tydri. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know what happened. I need to know. Okay, I am just doing the edge stitch at the bottom of the infinity strap, just to give it a perfect little finished look. Okay, and then I just got to do this little part. All right, now we have finished our infinity strips. I'm like, LaShawn, don't like my flip phone. Yes. I know. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not telling the story, but Tydri, if y'all haven't seen it, you got to go over there and watch it. It's a story to be told, and she's a good storyteller, a very good storyteller. Okay, so we have our waistbands. We have two. We need to interface them, which we're about to do right now before we attach them. So we're down to the wire. Let me turn this light on. I don't know if it made it lighter, but it feels lighter in here. So we are going to interface these two waistbands. So these are our two, like I said, I did do 7 inches. They probably need to be, it called for 5. I did 7. And let me see. Okay, that's perfect. All right, so I'm about to cut this. Okay. I think this is the perfect amount. Okay. So this is my cotton interfacing, which I've been trying to use more when I'm using woven fabrics. I feel like it's better. Yeah, I haven't had a flip phone in a million years. And I don't know what I would do without my phone. I'm so used to it. In fact, I literally just recently set up let me get some tissue. Okay. Um, I just set up and I feel like everybody should do this, but if you ever lose your phone, like how do you, basically recover? How do you protect yourself, all your information? And I thought if I lost my phone, let's forget about if somebody stole it. If I lost it, I would have been in a bad way because I would be like, oh my goodness, so much information like that I have on my phone. I need to be able to like cut those credit cards off. I need to be able to, wipe my phone clean, but also be able to get all the information that I have. So I didn't feel confident that I had a system to do that until recently because I was like, I had a almost lost my phone kind of situation. So I needed to rectify that and make sure I was in a good space. All right, let me just. Right, I know, and that is what's pissed. That's enough to make you upset. Like somebody knows they didn't. It's not yours. You didn't pay for it, but you walking around like it's yours. Like, come on, come on. So yeah, I totally felt your pain. Totally felt your pain. All right, I'm just going to press this. I think I said this to y'all before, but did you know that when you're pressing interfacing down that you shouldn't use steam? Did you know that? Hey, Chris. Hey, good to see you. Why is that like raising up? You said what system? What system did I get? Oh, what did I do? You say, what did I do? So I basically set up a like a hidden file on my laptop that has all of my, vital credit card information. What do I need to do? So stuff that I just was keeping on my phone, which I had a lot and I didn't even realize over time, I now have a file. And so if I ever lose, and it's in the cloud. So if I ever lose it, if I ever lose my phone or it gets stolen or whatever, I always could immediately might wipe my phone clean, but that doesn't help me because I have so much stuff on my phone. Um, so I could wipe my phone clean, which would get rid of all my stuff that's linked on my phone. But now I also have access to it, so I can get it replaced. And you know, um, and I just didn't have that. So I just have a hidden file on my laptop. So if I ever lose my laptop, just say no, someone won't be able to. It's password protected. Um, but no matter where I'm at, I can also log in and get that information. So that's the other reason why I put it in the cloud, because it doesn't do me any good if I lose it and I'm across the country and then I can't do what I need to do. So I put it in the cloud. And it's password protected, so I can get to it no matter where I'm at. But I just felt vulnerable because I was like, if I lose my phone, I have no idea. There's so much stuff in this phone that I need and I won't have access to. And so I had to do something about that to make sure I didn't feel as vulnerable. And like, even if somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, give me your phone," I would be like, "Oh my goodness." But now I'm like, "Yeah, you can have it," because I know exactly what I'm going to do when I go home or when I get to a computer, wherever that might be. So they won't be able to, access anything. All right. So for these infinity straps, you do need to also, I just realized, get much. I'm sorry, this is not infinity strap. Waistband. Lord, I got deja vu for a minute after working on them dang on infinity straps forever, what felt like forever. All right, so one down, we're going to put interfacing on this one. Yes, it definitely, I'm telling you, I felt very vulnerable until I did that. So now I feel much more better. Again, I'm not going to hopefully not lose my phone, but it's something that can happen to anybody. So I thought, best thing that makes me feel better is to be prepared. So, yeah, so now I feel so much more prepared than I did before. So much more prepared. Chris, what you been up to? What you working on these days? Okay. You said you living through us. Oh, is that right? Well, hopefully you're living your best life. I hope you living your best life, Chris. Let me know who you living through so I could tap into them too. Cause I know I don't have much going on. Although you can live through me next weekend when I do my 31-mile hike. You could pick me to live through that weekend. Because you will have the best of both worlds. You will have done a hike and be fully recovered all at the same time. Okay. And let me press this. Oh, brought it to the States to get fixed. And oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Don't get me started. I got a story for everything, so I'm not even going to say how they don't take, and the fact that they didn't take responsibility, they know they messed it up. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm telling you. And this is why I carry everything on. I do not put anything, I mean, when I can avoid it. And I was just literally thinking to myself, like, I'm going to this plant expo tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, am I going to get some plants? Am I going to get some stuff? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't want to spend my money and then be having to fuss somebody out because my stuff comes back damaged. I will be upset. So I don't know, but I feel your pain because, yeah, I just do. I fly enough to know. That's why I carry everything on. Everything. Unless I'm going international, and then you just take your chances because you know you can't fit everything in a carry-on. You just can't. But I'm so I know you like devastated because I know you like your sewing. And the thought of not being able to sew, especially I like now, I've been sewing more than I ever have been sewing. So I'm right there with you. I'm sympathizing. I feel your pain 100%. It's just not fair. Okay, so these are our waistbands. You do need to um, fold one edge up because you have to have one finished edge. So we're going to do that right now. Fold. Ooh, keep forgetting. So we're folding one edge down, pressing it. This is going to be our finished edge. And I'm going to just stitch it down. I love that I use this mustard colored thread. It looks so good. I almost use white, and I just thought, oh, white is just too much, too bold against these colors, and it probably would look okay. But the mustard definitely did what it was supposed to do. So this is definitely a wide, it's It's a wide waistband for sure. But I'm okay with it, I think. I think I'm gonna leave it wide. Now like I said, this is 7 inches. And 5 is what is recommended. But again, this is one of those things where you can do what you want to do. And I decided to have a wide waistband. If for some reason I decide I don't like it, I think it's an easy fix. So I'm not too worried about it. If I ultimately decide to adjust it after I finish putting the dress together. The only thing is, well, it's not really a big deal. Like I said, my zipper is 22 inches, and this obviously adds a lot more length, or a lot more length between the top of the zipper and the bottom of the dress. But I don't, like I said, 22 inches historically has been enough for me to step in, and that's all that I care about. So all I'm doing now is putting a stitch in. I fold down like a 1/2 of an inch the top of the waistband on each piece, and I'm just doing the top stitch. To this piece. Okay, so we have finished these 2 waistband pieces. Now let's see. Full waistband in half. Oh yeah, so this is where they are kind of helping us determine where the halfway mark is on our waistband. So it says to make a notch. I'm going to just make a little mark at the halfway mark. Where's my pen? Here's my pen. So basically we're taking the waistband and we are folding it in half, and then it says either make a notch or mark. So I am doing that at the halfway point. Same thing on this side, folding it in half. And then, does that have? Okay. Yes, so here's the halfway mark. Okay, and then it says fold it in half again. And this is, again, helping you know where your placement is for your band. I mean, for your infinity straps, where you're going to place them. And you have some flexibility in this part too. So just know it doesn't have to be exactly, but this is to help give you some parameters of where. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like after you do it. So you will have, you can see one mark right there, one mark right there. Remove this. Okay, here you go. You should see 3 marks. One mark right there, one mark right there, and that middle mark is in the middle. And so ultimately what it's telling you is that your straps, one should fit right here and one should fit right here. That is telling you like where it will be This is the middle of the dress, and you actually want them to overlap. This is the center. So if you want them to overlap, if you want that full coverage that I talked about, you might can have it go an inch over this way, an inch over this way. But ultimately, these markings are where your infinity straps are going to fit. And so just to kind of tell you again how I got them, I folded it in half. That gave me the mark in the center. And then I folded it again in a fourth, and I put a mark right here on both pieces. And that gave me 3 markings like that. If you could see them. That is what I did to get the 3 marks. And you don't really have to do it, I guess, on both of them, but it doesn't hurt. So I'm just, again, folding it again. And then I am finding that middle piece right here where the fold is. And I'm doing another mark on each part of the fold. And that will tell me, okay, here is 1 and here's 2. And the straps, again, are going to fit in between those places, or somewhere. You'll at least know where they are centered. So if you want to move them more to the sides or more in the front, you will know where the center of your waistband is. Okay, now we are, let's see. Now we're going to attach the skirt to the waistband by sandwiching it in to the raw edge. Okay, so this is where, so again, I know that this is my waist plus a little bit of seam allowance. So you can see it literally fits. And that little bit where the zipper is going to go on is going to take that rest. So I know my skirt needs to fit in this waistband. So what I am going to do is find my skirt. And I am literally going to fit or pin let me remember this, right sides. That's why it is it right side? Let me think for a minute. Yes, right sides. I had to think about it for a minute. Right side. So the raw edge of the waistband to the raw edge of the skirt, you are going to be clipping and or pinning it in place. I think I'm pinning it. I think that's going to be better for me. So the easiest way for me, I think, is to pin the edges pin the center, so can I tell where the center is? I cannot. So you probably should have put like a little notch on this, but what I'm going to do right now is make one right here. Oops. If I can. All right. And I'm going to pin that right at the center notch. Again, this is just helping me make sure everything is lined up. And then I'm going to fill everything else in between. I had to think for a minute. Yeah, that, you know what? That's a good idea, and that is probably what I will do, because I don't trust, and that means I don't have to even carry it. I don't have to be worried about it. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to be worried about it, which is the best thing. To not have to be worried about something that I've spent a lot of money on or care a lot about, regardless of how much money I spent on it. Okay. So all I'm doing right now is I'm literally fitting the gather into the waistband. So it's like shrunken in enough, because we already know that the gathers were not as gathered as they needed to be. So I am literally just shrinking them into the waistband. And ultimately, once I do that, I'm going to lay the other waistband on the top, and I'm going to stitch across. I'm going to stitch across the top, and then we're going to press it up so that both waistbands kind of sandwich the skirt. This definitely feels like I should have did one I should have did a one stitch gather. All right, half of the skirt is in, and now I am doing the other half of the skirt. Where are my, I guess we are doing pins for the other half. So yeah, this is, and you could have, if you chose, and I've done this before, you could have literally skipped the gathering step and just manually gathered. I think it's a little bit easier when you have the pre-made gathers, because it's a little less bulk, but you could skip that step if you wanted and just manually kind of pleat it, so to speak, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just overlapping it so that it all fits in there. And depending on how you feel, you could do a basting stitch across this part, but I'm not going to. I think I can literally just put the other piece on top. The only thing I have to think about is making sure that I have some pins in here, and I think I'm going to remove them and use all clips because that will make it easier. That will make it a little bit easier to make sure I don't stitch over any clips, any pins, I'm sorry. And I think I can take out this. And do I have any more? Oh, yep, here we go. All right, so let me just make sure I don't have any pins in here. Here's one. Because once I put this top on here, I will not see. Okay. So I have now the skirt pinned to one of the waistband pieces. So this is how it's going to look. It is a little wide, right? It's going to be a little wide, but it's okay. I think it's all right. Ooh. Now you're going to take your other waistband piece that you have, and you are going to put the raw edge to the bottom and the finished edge to the top. And you are going to basically put it on the other side. So you are sandwiching the skirt in between. And so you're literally going to pick up these clips and you're just going to slide this other piece. You want to make sure that both sides have the right sides going up so that it's going to look like this. So you're going to put the right side to the wrong side on the other side so that when you put it up, it's going to all be up. I mean, it's going to all be right side showing. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But for right now, I'm going to literally go down this end and just clip this whole thing. Reclip this whole thing, adding the other waistband on. Oh, you know what else? Before we sew this, oh no, we're not putting in our thing yet. Let me just make sure. Place second waistband on top, right sides facing, sandwich straps and sew in place. Oh yeah, okay. So it does want us to put, let me think about that. Oh yeah, okay. So it's the same. So basically, let me just make sure. Okay, that's going to be right. And then, yes, okay. So it's going to be fine. So when she does it and when the designer does it, she puts the straps on first. We're attaching the skirt first, but it doesn't matter because we are literally, before we sew Once we sew the bottom on, then we will, before we sew the tops together, we are going to be putting in, we're going to be attaching the waistband, the affinity straps on. So we're just doing it in the reverse. I was just looking at my notes and I'm realizing, oh, we did one before the other, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think. Oops. The main thing is that you are sandwiching in both the skirt at the bottom and the infinity straps at the top. That's the main thing. And you just want to make sure that the raw edges of your waistband, also you have some exposed raw edge because you do need to get your skirt in there. Your zipper, sorry. Your zipper does need to go into that part. So that's the only other thing. So we are almost finished sandwiching this in. The main thing is to just also make sure that you have all of your skirt, the raw edges up, because you just don't want to sew the whole thing and then have pieces that are out. So you just want to make sure that that raw edge is all the way lined up. I guess I need to use this one. All right, and I'm just making sure that all of mine is up, that I didn't miss anything. And I'm just, because I did this backwards, I'm just making sure all of my, where's my other little notch at? Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Again, you have your waistband. And once you sew across this top, all the way across the top, then you are going to bring your waistband up. You're going to press it up. So it will eventually, your skirt will be looking like this. Again, my waistband is much wider. The main thing also is, again, to leave that some open edge on the end where your zipper is going to be going. Just a little teeny bit, a little bit on that end as well. And actually, I think, now I think about it, you probably can have it fully lined up because your zipper, this end part is going to be kind of folded in. So it'll be fine. You can bring your fabric all the way to the end. So I'm just going to adjust mine a little bit on this end, because if you don't, then it's going to be a little awkward when you're doing your skirt, when you're putting in your zipper. Yes, so it should be like this. That's what it should look like. Okay, so first things first, and then we are going to be placing our straps at the top before we, and we're going to put our zipper in, and that's going to be it. So first things first, let's sew this down. And I'm going to sew this at 5/8 just to make sure that I get the full gathered part in and I don't have anything left out. And I'm just going to be checking every step of the way to make sure. No, it's just one zipper. So when I connected all the pieces, Diane, basically it's one long piece for the front, and then that second long piece, I cut it in half in the back. And so I stitched up the long piece from the front to the two half pieces. I stitched them on the side, so then that created one long piece. Yes, one. So then it's one zipper that is going to go in the back, and that's going to be the last thing that I'm going to put in is the zipper. So yes, one zipper in the back, and that's it. But I guess you could really do it anyway. It's nothing that would stop you from putting, you know, a zipper on each side. Like if you aesthetically wanted to do that, you could. I mean, so I am just again making sure that my, you know, gathers and everything are all, you know, the raw edges are all lining up. That's what I'm making sure. Because you just don't want that to be, you don't want to sew this whole thing and then realize it's not all lined up. So yeah. That would not make you very happy. Ooh. So far, so good. It's coming along. Of all the parts, this part probably makes me the most nervous just because you don't want to have any of your pieces to not be kind of fully at the top. And so then you'll have like a little hole. It's easy to fix, but who wants to do that? So I'm hoping by, you know, I lined it all up, I clipped it. I'm doing this double check, making sure that the raw edges are all, you know, lined up. All right, we almost at the end. All right. So I feel, ooh, what was that? Okay. Let me show you what we have. So here is, move this water and knock it over. So here's our waistband that we just sandwiched in the middle of our skirt. And here's our skirt kind of sandwiched in the middle. So it fit on like this. And like I said, when I told you that this 22 inches is long, it's long. Like I just want to show you where it comes on me. And for some people, this might be okay, but I like my skirts a little bit shorter than this. So it's too long for me. I want it to be like right there. If you could see, like right above the knee is where I would be. So this is 22 inches from the waist. Here's the waist. And then 22 inches for me is right below my knee. So I probably could have took 3 inches off and did like a 19 inch to get it like right at the knee level, which is what I'm going to do when I hem it. But I also have this wider waistband. So they did a 5-inch waistband, which was probably 2 inches shorter. So theirs would have been like right here. You probably can't tell as much, but because the fabric is all the same, but this is probably the 5-inch right here. And I did 7 because I wanted a little bit of a wider waist. But this is how it's supposed to look at this point. And you could, of course, do top stitching around this part if you want. And then, of course, you have your pockets. So pockets are right here. So you have pockets on. We don't have our zipper in yet, but you will have pockets on each side. Where's my other pocket? Somewhere. Where's my pocket? Oh, here we go. Pocket right here. This is what happens when you do it. Fabric all the same. You can't find pocket. But you have 2 pockets on each side. So super cute. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to put in our straps. And that's where we made those little markings to help us know where the straps are going to go. So, we have the marking here for the center. And where are our straps? Okay, here are our straps. So you have finished. One edge is finished and one short edge and both long edges are finished. So you're going to take your raw edge, your strap that has the raw edge, to it right here, and you are going to sandwich it in, just like how we did the skirt. You're going to sandwich it into the waistband before we sew the waistband together. And as I mentioned before, where's my little pen? Oh, wow, I use this. I made the markings here, but I'm going to transfer them. One right here. And again, this is telling me where is the center, and this is where's the center, like where are the edges. And you can play around with this totally. It's up to you where you put these bands. You could even decide to like baste them in first if you want to sample, test it out. But I'm going to pin it down. And what I'm doing is I am going an inch over the line. And I'm going to just pin it down. Oh, let me move this up so you can see. So I'm going to pin mine 1 inch over the center so that my infinity straps overlap in the middle. And that's going to give me just a little bit more coverage in the middle of my chest. So I'm literally pinning it, and it is going to be right side. You want your right side of the fabric facing out. And then I'm going to pin, same thing on the other side. Take my raw edge. And I'm overlapping. And then I'm going to pin this down as well. And then you're just going to stitch straight across. All right, so I'm going to, these are my two straps. I have one right here and one right here. They overlap probably about 3/4 of an inch, so not a full inch. They overlap, and then they're centered in the middle, and I'm just going to sew right across the top of the band. And yeah, and it's a lot of fabric, so you have to figure out how you're going to kind of manage it to some extent. But when you have it all sewn, like, I can't really show it to you that well, but this is how it will look. And if you want them shorter, you could, put some gathers in there to make them shorter as well. I don't, because I want it, like I said, full. But if I would have made them 15 inches, I would have definitely done some gathers, because I think that would have looked really cute to have some gathers like right at the bottom part. That would have been really extra cute to have that. Okay, here we go. Let me. I need to figure out what's the easiest way to do this. It's a lot of fabric. Okay, here we go. Let's see. It's a little tricky, but it's doable. Okay, and then where it overlaps, you just got to make sure that you kind of get that where it's supposed to be. And I probably should have pinned this down a little bit more than I did. almost there. All right, I think. Okay, the straps are finished and in. And then the not last thing, but the last part to do is to sew the waistband pieces together. So this is what the strap, hold on, I gotta put it like this so I can show you. This is so super cute. I'm really excited about being able to wear this. Maybe even tomorrow. Okay, so I don't know if you could really see it, but these are your infinity straps right here. And here is your waistband. And as you can see, you kind of sandwiched it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of sandwiched in there. If you could see that. And so what we do have to do is we have to sew the waistband. I guess it's probably easy to look at it from the back because the back waistband is the one that's not attached yet. So here is where I attached the straps to the waistband, the front. So, but once we sew this on, then the whole thing will be kind of sewn together. So that's the next thing we need to do, which is sew this whole thing together. The waistband, front and back pieces have to be sewn. Hey, Jalen! You said JB loves this pattern? Oh, okay. Well, tell him Ms. Gigi is going to be wearing this maybe tomorrow. So, yeah, so let me sew this down. It's a lot of, fabric, but it is doable. So I'm just going to kind of clip this a little bit to help me make sure that everything stays the way it's supposed to be. I really think that if you are able to, if you're a smaller person, then you probably don't have to add. But my recommendation would be to definitely add like a couple of inches to the width of the infinity strap, so you could have a couple of gathers. Because I just think it would make a difference to have just some gathers like right at that bottom part. I think that would look super cute. I'm sad that I don't have that because I definitely wanted to have it. I also think it adds something that I did use this mustard color thread because there's, this top stitching along the waistband and you could see. So, yeah, everything is lining up really well. So I'm just going to sew across this top and the top of the waistband, and that will secure everything. And then we just put the zipper in, and then I just have to hem the bottom of the skirt. But I'm going to try it on so that you all can see it before we get to that part. So for now, we are going to just stitch right in. Yeah, you just have to, these things are long, so you just have to be Just mindful that they're there. And probably what I should have done, now I think about it, is I should have probably put a basting stitch in, because I'm actually sewing over another stitch line that I did. And it doesn't look bad because I'm literally going right on top of it, but as I think about it, a basting stitch would have been good because I could have just removed it and I would have only had one stitch showing. Again, it doesn't look horrible, but I can't even take one of them out because I don't know which one to take out. So that's the other thing I would say. When you do this, do basting stitches when you're attaching the infinity strap, because you have to do this finishing stitch when you're stitching the waistband, closing up the waistband. Almost done. Almost got this all stitched up. And then we're just going to put in the zipper. All right, so that is now done. Literally, ooh. So literally, it is pretty much like, yeah, probably should have did a little bit more overlap, but it's not bad. Not too bad. I think I have coverage that I want. Okay, so let's put the zipper in, and the side is not bad either. Cut to my side. So the only thing that's going to be out is my back. If I wear it this way, again, some people, I've seen people wear these infinity dresses where they do it like this, like one shoulder, all different ways. We'll style it in a minute. All right, let's put this zipper in and then we are done. That time went by quick. Okay. Let us put this zipper. Take this out. So where am I? I'm doing the orange zipper. Why not? It's going to be an invisible zipper. So it's a little bit of a bright orange, but I think it'll be okay. It's not the worst. And now, you know what I'm thinking? Should have probably, so that's what I was thinking about. Because when the young lady does it, she doesn't do an invisible zipper. And I want my zipper to be completely sandwiched in here. And in order for me to do that, I need to, I think, remove this a little bit of this piece in order for my zipper to be completely like sandwiched in. It's not going to be sandwiched the way I want it to be. Yes. Okay, so I am going to just take off. I was trying to visualize this, but I'm going to open up this bottom part just a little bit so that I can think about this for a minute. Yeah, because I don't want this. I want this. If I turn this like this, I guess it could be, but it would be bulky, and I don't want that. Sorry, I'm just thinking this through. As opposed to doing it like this. Yeah, okay. I think what I am going to do is I think I am going to open up this band. Because if I open up the band, yeah, I didn't think that part through enough. Is that going to be okay? I think so. I think that might be okay. I'm trying to figure out if I need to open up this band, and part of me feels like I do need to open it up, and then the other part of me feels like maybe I just leave it. I think I'm just going to leave it. I think I'm just going to leave the band as it is, and if I don't like it, I'll just fix it. But I think I'm just going to leave the band as it is, attach the zipper, and not open up the waistband, just attach it, which means that I will have to stitch down that top part, but it's okay. I don't like it. It's not my favorite way to do it. It's definitely not my favorite way, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. All right, here we go. So I'm just gonna do a regular invisible zipper install. And I'm trying to think if I really want to do my, because I also want this to be as not bulky. And that's the one thing I do worry about a little bit. Is it too bulky? It'll be okay. pin this. Yes, okay. Okay. I just had to make sure I had this right before I stitched it down. All right, I'm sewing the zipper down, and I am not doing anything different to the waistband. I didn't open it up. I left it flat. So I'm treating it just like it's all one piece of fabric. Ooh. Ooh-wee. All right, I am halfway done the first side of the zipper. Ew. Ew. Again, I'm trying to make sure, this is a little tricky because I'm trying to make sure I don't sew over the zipper. almost, I'm going not to the bottom, but almost to the bottom. Now there are a couple of areas where I think I might have sewn into the zipper teeth. I'm going to see. Yep. Okay, there's one of them. Let me see if I can pull it out. Nope. Okay, so then I need to take this out. So there's probably like two areas where I felt like I sewed right into the zipper teeth. So I'm just going to, remove those areas, and then restitch them. All right, there we go. One more. Okay. Now where else is that? Okay, got it up there. Is this another one? Oh, okay, just one. Thought it was more than one, but it's just one. That orange doesn't look so bad. It looks better than I thought it was going to look. I'm just double checking the zipper. And I just need to double back stitch this part where I took this, where I took the stitch out at. And actually, maybe I don't. Well, yes, I do. All right, so I'm just double stitching, back stitching this little piece right here. Make sure that when I wash it, it does not, my zipper doesn't fall out. That, and then you just Is it raining? No. All right. Okay, here's another spot. So here's another spot. I'm just going to. Why does it look like it looks good, but when I look at it, it's okay. Here we go. Oh yeah, okay, I see. What happened? Where it's not going to look invisible because for whatever reason, I zigzag. I want this orange zipper to be completely as invisible as it can be. So I'm just going in and getting a little bit closer. All right, wish me luck. You have more patience than me. If I was making it, just would be open. Ah, hey Terrence. No, look, I want it to look good, especially when I wear it 50 million times. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. All right, so half of the zipper is in, and like I said, this orange looks good. It's not the worst thing in the world. That uh, if it does end up showing a little bit, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world at all. It's just not. So I'm not like dying if, you know, if for some reason it, yeah, it's showing a little bit. Like it might be like right at the top, right there. But it'll be okay. It will be okay. I won't die. Not right away, anyway. Okay, let me just mark this. Oh, here we go. Y'all know everything ends up on the floor eventually. Okay. Now just got to sew this other end on here. All right, we are in the home stretch, people. We are in the home stretch, okay? Just got to get this piece on here and we will be good to go. Terrence said, look, that skirt will be open. Terrence, I can't wear my skirt open. I cannot. Of course, of course, of course. Okay. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. Is that right? I will die. This is not. Okay. I just had to be sure. Had to be sure. Terrence, what are you working on? What are you sewing? You came right on time, right in time for me to try the dress on. Uh-oh. It's one of those little areas. Think I sewed into the zipper again. I call myself trying to be fast, but it's making me slow. Oh, I'm getting excited because we are almost there. Almost there. Where are we at? Oh, we at 3.5 hours. Why? I definitely don't feel like this dress takes that long. I think if I make it again, it'll be much faster. Ooh. All right. Now let us pray. We'll get this zipper up. It's going up. Come on. Come on. Okay. There we go. And it's up. And the only thing I need to do is just take these little edges and sew them down. And I'll probably go back in and get tighter with my thing, but we don't have to do that right now. We definitely do not. Okay, so we got it. It's the zipper is finished. It's done. Oh, and I guess I need to sew the back bottom of the skirt because I did not do that. Bottom of the skirt is still open. So let me just sew that closed. And then we're going to try this on. That's interesting. Okay, we are done. We're done. Only hemming is left. Okay, so let me go try this on. You said you got so many. Well, look, that's a good problem to have, Terrence. Good for you. I know you like, yeah, I'm tired though. Oh, my flight is at 8 a.m. So I'm done. 10:40. Oh yeah, I got still pack. So I'm gonna try this dress on. I am gonna probably finish it, especially if I really like it, because I want to wear it tomorrow. I think it's gonna be 85, 86 degrees in South Carolina. So I think I can definitely get away with wearing this dress, and it's much cuter than anything I plan to wear anyway. So I'm gonna go pack, and then I'm gonna come back and finish the dress. All I have to do is hem the bottom, and I mean, if it ain't say guaranteed black wax, what does it say? Guaranteed wax. it says guaranteed real black, guaranteed real wax black mama. That's what the bottom says. If it ain't say that at the bottom, I probably would just leave it right at the bottom. So yeah, I don't have much to do. This is going to take me 30 minutes to fix. So let me go try this on. This is our infinity dress with the wide waistband. Again, I'll remind you of all the uh iteration. I mean, the changes that I made. It definitely is a blessing, Terrence. Definitely. Okay, let me go put this on. And I'll be right back. Okay. Here we go. So this is the finished infinity dress. You definitely have more than enough strap to like wrap around a million different ways. I was kind of playing around with it a little bit to see. I definitely feel like I could get the coverage that I want in the front, even with going across both sides, going across this way. I just did them straight up around the neck, across the waist. Yeah, I think that's what I did. And I just tied it right here in the front. It's a lot. You have a lot of room to play around with it. So I definitely feel like it fits really, really good. And I also feel like right now I have on like a leotard underneath, but I think I can get the coverage that I need without it. So you do, at 10.5 inches on each side, you definitely have room. But I would have, if you would have probably did 12, you could have had more coverage. I also only did a 1/2 inch overlap, and if you want more coverage in the front, you could definitely, I think if you did an inch overlap, you would have a lot more coverage in the front than I have. The only other thing that I do want to do is I want to bring this up to about right here, to like right above the knee. So I'm going to take off probably about 3 or 4 inches, so it comes like right above the knee, because I think that is what is going to make it for me. And then again, you have the pockets on the side. You potentially have your back out depending on what you decide to do with your back, part of it. But like I said, I do have the coverage on the side that I wanted. I had the coverage in the front that I wanted. Again, I was just playing around with it a little bit. And then of course I'm okay with my back being completely out. And so that's what it would be. But you have a lot of options. Like I said, you can literally, only other thing is, because this particular fabric that I chose is not two-sided, I was spending a little bit of time making sure that the fabric was all laid on the right side. So if you did use an Ankara, it'd probably be good to get one of those thicker ones that looks like it's like the right side is either side. This one you can clearly tell. The good news about this one is that it is it's thin enough, so you could wear this 90 degrees outside and it's not going to feel like you have on something heavy. But definitely for a no pattern garment, it is super cute. You could choose, again, if you want a longer skirt, you can make the skirt longer. For me, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. But yeah, I really like it. I think it is super cute, and I highly recommend it. It took us 3.5 hours. I don't think it will take you 3.5 hours to make this garment. Many of the time that we spent was, hemming the edges of the infinity strap, which were 2 straps, 90 inches each, and that's putting in the gathers of the skirt, which again you could also do manually. That probably would save you a little bit of time. But for the most part, this is a done deal. I just have to fix the zipper, not fix it, but fix the, like, stitch down, cut off the little ends or stitch them down, and then hem the bottom of the skirt, and then this is literally done. That's like 30 minutes, it's done. So yeah, thank you, Lynette, thank you, Diane, thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Dory. Thank you, Terrence. Yes, thank you. It is cute. It is super cute, and I'm likely gonna wear it to the Plant Expo tomorrow if it's warm enough. I might just pack it on the plane, bring it with me when I get to the hotel, change into it. That way, if the weather is not right when I get there. But anyway, thank y'all so much for hanging in. I hope y'all do decide to make this. Definitely, if you do, tag me, tag the designer. Let me see, her name is in here. Made by, let me see, I'm gonna go back in here. It's on my thumbnail. So definitely tag her because this is her design. Ooh, let's see. It is, somebody put it in here. Where is it? Here we go. Made by Diola. Made by Diola. That is who is the original designer. of this pattern, no pattern infinity dress. So definitely, if you make it, please tag her, tag me, because I would love to be able to see it. But it is super cute. Look at this. It's so cute. I don't know if you can really get the full gist of it, but it is super cute. And like I said, for me, I'm gonna take a couple inches off, just so it comes right above the knee, because that's like my perfect length above the knee. But totally 22 inches as is. It's not a bad. It's just not my. It's not a work dress. If this was a work dress, then yes, but it's not a work dress. So I can have it a little bit shorter above the knee. But this would be perfect for tomorrow's plant expo. I'll be the cutest plant girl, plant mama there. So anyway, I will not see y'all next Friday again, because I will be doing my race. So follow me on my other page, LaShawn Michelle, at LaShawn Michelle. Follow me on that page on Instagram, because I will need y'all to cheer me. I need your mental strength to cheer me on as I go through that race. But then I will be back after that. And May is my birthday month, so we're going to be celebrating all month, because it's my birthday. It's my birthday month, my 49 birthday. So yeah, thank you, Tydri. Thank you, Tydri. So I will put out the May schedule. But don't forget, I will not be here next Friday, because I will be doing my race. So I'll be preparing to do my race, which will be the very next day. So, but I will miss y'all, and then I'll be back so I can tell y'all all about my race. And yeah, and it'll be my birthday month when I come back. So we will be celebrating that for sure. So yes, May, that's right, Tydra, you a May baby too. We are May babies, right? Might be not babies anymore, but we are definitely born in the month of May. So thank you, Marilyn. Thank you. So so we're gonna be celebrating my race. We're gonna be celebrating my birthday month, my 49 before the big 50, which will be next year. We gotta definitely bring it in, and we're talking about health and wealth and all of that stuff too, because when you turn a year older, you think about all those things. So we'll talk about that all month long. All right, I gotta pack. I gotta get rested. I gotta get ready. Plus, I think I'm wearing my hair curly, so I gotta wash. I'm doing wash and go, wash and curl, whatever. I think I'm wearing that. So I need to do something with my hair tonight, because it's been bunning since I've been running. So I gotta do something with that. That's it, I think. So anyway, I will see y'all in 2 weeks. But definitely, I hope to hear from y'all as y'all cheer me on as I do my 31 miles next Saturday. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, for hanging in there with me. I appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend. Up in the street.
Let's get social. Come and sew with me. Let's get social. You know it ain't that hard to do. Let's get social.